Hey everybody, Jack here. Welcome to this week's podcast. We're here with Carson and Nathan.
And we're going to be mostly talking about the division in the NFC North right now. We're going to be talking about those four teams and just major players that we want to take a look at from each one and a couple sleepers as well. So let's start off with the Vikings. They got a couple receivers out there that I think are pretty good. Which one would you pick over the other? If we're looking at Stephon Diggs or Adam Thielen?
Man, that's tough. I feel like Thielen because I feel like Diggs is more of I feel like Diggs is more so what the defense worries about, like in their game plan more so, and they try to let Thielen beat them. And for that, I feel like Thielen will get more opportunities because you can just see in the targets that he got last year, and that was only his first year with Kirk Cousins, so I can imagine it only gets better.
I
I think
I like
Diggs is better though. I think Diggs is
yeah,
better.
Diggs is. I mean, Thielen's put up better numbers, obviously the
Exactly.
last. But I mean, in terms of just who's a more talented football player, it's got to be Diggs.
Oh yeah,
And
all the way.
yeah,
I think
and
it's only a matter of time before he actually steps up and
yeah,
takes over
last
Thielen. Like,
I was looking into this like 2 days ago, I think. Last year, like eight, the first like 9 games, I think, Thielen had like a little higher target share than Diggs. And then down the stretch, like last 6 games, Diggs had like a more substantial target share over Thielen. He kind of took over the wide receiver one position down the stretch, and that could carry into next year.
Well, yeah, I think the Vikings too, to be successful, I think he needs to be, their primary target and let Thielen just kind of do what he does because Diggs, I've thought for the last few years at least now that he was better than Thielen,
Yeah,
personally.
so the thing with the two is I think that Thielen is like he's a great like receiver and everything, but Diggs is just overall way more athletic. And I'm surprised that he hasn't already stepped up into being like a wide receiver one on most fantasy teams because I could see that happening this year. Like that wouldn't surprise me if he's a top 10 receiver at all. Like, and you can get him pretty late in drafts too. Like he's sitting around somewhere in the third or fourth round. He's a guy that you can actually sleep on and do pretty good with picking him late, which is just going to be extremely helpful for everybody.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just Thielen's just a catch machine. That's the only reason why I say that I would choose him over Diggs in fantasy, just because I feel like the production and the targets will go more towards him. But like Nate says, if it carries into this year, Diggs becoming the wide receiver one, then it could be interesting.
And you guys are feeling good about Dalvin Cook too?
I mean, fucking what's his face was saying that he likes Dalvin Cook more than Aaron Jones, and I don't like that at all.
I don't
yeah.
know who what's his face is.
I know. I'm trying to think of his name.
Yeah,
It's your guys' friend.
I mean,
Luke,
I
yeah,
Yeah,
right
there you
now
go,
I would like
Luke.
Dalvin Cook more, but depending on whether or not he's going to be injured, you know what I mean? Because they're both a little injury prone, like Aaron Jones and Cook. They've both kind of been dinged up a little bit. But I think that Cook has proven more than Aaron Jones has, just from like a numbers point and like stats and stuff.
See, I just feel like he's done about the same as Aaron Jones as far as like the games that they've actually proven it, because they both have an extremely small sample size for their 2 years they've been in the league.
yeah.
That's unless you make the argument to pick Aaron Jones over Cook. To me at least, I think that's a little crazy.
Let's pick Aaron Jones over Cook.
Yeah, I would probably go Cook first. I mean, I feel more secure about Aaron Jones, but if it comes to like higher ceiling, I think it's Cook.
But why would you say, what's leaning you towards that?
His overall production from like the past couple seasons, he's just overall like better and just he's more I think athletic than Aaron Jones, and I think that the situation isn't as good as Jones, but like I just see more talent.
What's more production though? I mean, he only had 600 yards last year with 2 touchdowns.
But he didn't play the full season, which is kind of
Well,
like
neither did Aaron Jones.
If I'm on the
And
if I'm on the clock,
Aaron Jones had 700 yards and 8 touchdowns on 5.5 yards a carry. He had more than a yard a carry than Daniel Cook or Dalvin Cook did.
Nathan, were you saying something?
yeah.
Sorry.
If I'm on the clock and it's Aaron Jones or Dalvin Cook, I think I would be taking Aaron Jones there.
Really?
In
With
2017, Aaron Jones had 450 yards on 5.5 yards a carry. Cook
Yeah, his
had
yards per carry are
350
just
on
crazy.
4.8, and then in 2018, Aaron Jones 728 to 615 with a yard more per carry. And Aaron Jones has 12 touchdowns in 2 years, while Dalvin Cook has 4.
All right, wow. I think just still
People
like
just sleep on Aaron Jones. It's weird, man. I don't get it. Like his health is going to be a thing to keep an eye on, but the talent and production's there.
it has been. It definitely has been. But I still like if I'm looking at him, at least from first glance, to me at least, I think most people like just look at that, they see the two, and they don't even think twice. They're like, yeah, definitely Dalvin Cook, or at least I've seen that in a lot of rankings, like with what I've been
Just
looking
weird,
at.
man. Because like if you think about Aaron Jones, like all of us could agree that it seems like he only played 8 games last year, and he fucking racked up those kind of numbers.
Yeah, he did do a pretty decent job.
And it's because like a lot of time, like the first like 6 games of he was suspended the first 2, but then like the other 4 games after his suspension, he got like 5 carries a game.
See, the thing about the running backs though that are in this division is that they're all actually really good.
Oh yeah, each team
even-
has a stud. I mean,
Yeah, even
it's something to say. If I mean, you could make an argument for who is like quote unquote the worst, but to say that like Kerryon Johnson might be like the worst running back in the division is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know, because he's super talented too, and he's another high upside guy.
Well, and actually, so would you say, if we're just talking the number 1 running back, would you say that the Bears have the worst running back roster right now, which like isn't bad, like in the NFC North? Like the Bears have a good running back duo with Montgomery and Cohen, but would you say that Kerryon Johnson, Aaron Jones, and Cook are better than Cohen?
Better than Cohen for
I'd say better than Cohen.
Yes,
fantasy,
so I would say
absolutely.
the Bears have the worst number 1, which is weird to say because
I
that
think-
wasn't what
I
we were
think
thinking.
Montgomery will be the number 1. And
Well, you know what I'm
pretty
saying
quick-
though, he's not
yeah.
proven, so I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just going
Okay,
into
yeah.
it.
Then yeah, I
Because
would
I
agree
think
with
David Montgomery is going to be good. It's just it's crazy to think how much has changed to where the Bears have quote unquote the worst number 1.
that. I mean, it's kind of yeah, that's really weird. But
Like I said, David Montgomery I think is going to be a stud. He was another pick that the Bears pissed me off with, but. So the Lions then I guess going with that, I think Kerryon Johnson and Galladay are going to be a beast.
Yeah.
I feel good about Galladay too. I was doing a mock draft and I kind of had him on one of my teams. I didn't feel like the best about him, but like the fact that he was still there and he was like a wide receiver 3 for me too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's pretty good upside there. He could at least be like a 2 guy for sure.
Galladay as a wide receiver 3, I would feel really good about that.
Yeah. I think he has huge upside too. It's going to be a big year for him, I think.
And they've got that rookie tight end that they drafted pretty high, but rookie tight ends don't really.
Yeah,
too
I think
much.
Hawkinson's going to do a lot of stuff that's going to win ball games like that just don't show up in the box score.
Yeah.
He's a really good football player and a good value for the Lions, but overall I don't think he's going to put up the fantasy numbers right away.
Yeah.
I would expect actually Fant to put up better numbers this year than Hawkinson.
And those are both Iowa tight ends.
Yeah, both Iowa tight ends, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing about the Lions.
Do we even need to like mention Matthew Stafford? Because I feel like at this point you just kind of look at him and
You
you're
know
just
what he
like,
is.
oh,
Yeah,
I know.
you know what he is already.
Sorry, what?
You know what he is already.
Yeah, he's nothing special.
Mhm.
Like for every single year we've had a couple people be like, oh, Matt Stafford. Like Nick will talk about like,
Yeah.
well, like we got like a guy from Michigan who's just like all on board from Matt Stafford and shit, and it's just like, just watching like him being so hype about this guy who has never done anything spectacular really in his entire career. It's like, what? Especially for fantasy too, because he's like finished maybe like top 5 a couple times. I'm not sure. I really have no idea. But like, there's no way that he's finished in there like more than twice.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I mean he's way too
hasn't-
inconsistent.
he hasn't shown me anything to make me even think that I would want to get him. And I also like how we didn't talk about Kirk Cousins either. Because I mean,
I'm not. I would. Yeah. No. I mean, Kirk Cousins, I guess maybe from a fantasy value could be an all right quarterback option, but I've just
really
never
don't
been
think
big on
so.
Kirk. I've never been good on Kirk Cousins. It just depends what kind of Vikings they are. I mean, if they rely on him to throw the ball 50 times a game like they did last year, then he'll be a good fantasy value for that reason. Because he's throwing it 50 times a game. But
I don't see that happening unless if Cook gets injured again.
well, yeah, exactly. Which is exactly why I'm not going for Kirk Cousins. That's why I didn't mention Kirk or Matt Stafford. I wouldn't even really mention Trubisky.
No, I get that though, because he's had like one game where he put up like 45 or something stupid.
Yeah.
But he hasn't
Against
done
the
anything
Bucs.
else really. He's been like a consistent like 10-point getter, and
Oh,
like
no,
that's not good enough for you to have on your team.
I feel like we're gonna figure out who Mitch Trubisky is this year.
I hope that he's just like somewhat consistent. Like I'm cool with like having like a decent player on the team, like a Matt Ryan, who like could sometimes pop off, but like other times just like kind of suck. Because he'll do that, or like Mitch will do that sometimes, but I feel like his mess ups have been like less than like a lot of people's mess ups though. Like he doesn't like, I don't know how to describe.
He just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't do a whole bunch.
He's like a guy that'll drop the ball, but you're never gonna see him butt fumble. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I guess that's the way to look at it.
Yeah.
So who do you like? Who do you like on the Bears then for your fantasy?
Just really David Montgomery. Like, I think that he'll actually.
What do you think about Allen Robinson?
Okay, all right. Robinson is tricky because
He's interesting.
I really don't understand.
I think he's a wide receiver 3 with Galladay.
I think he is a wide receiver 3, but I don't really like him as a wide receiver 3 either. Like I'm kind of looking at him and I feel uneasy because I've drafted him a couple times. Like,
Well,
that's
also that also kind of shows what you think of your quarterback, though.
I wouldn't say
because
that.
Allen Robinson,
I just
your guy's
because
number
he doesn't
one.
throw
So
it to
if you
Allen Robinson. Like that's the thing.
But he should. I mean, he's the number one. So if you expect Trubisky to do well, he's got to throw to his number one.
Robinson.
That's not true at all.
He's 2 years out now from the ACL tear.
Well, yeah. So what do you mean? You paid Allen Robinson wide receiver 1 number money, and he is 2 years off of an ACL tear. So what do you mean he doesn't need to be the number 1 receiver for Trubisky to succeed? Who else are they going to have be the number 1 receiver this year?
Because if Mitchell Trubisky can still throw for 3,000 yards and just doesn't throw as many to Allen Robinson, he's still doing a pretty good job.
3,000 yards is the marker.
Whether or not he throws to Allen Robinson doesn't matter.
3,000 yards is with
I don't really give a crap about like who he's throwing it to. You know what I mean?
You're not getting what I'm saying though. It's Anthony Miller and Taylor Gabriel right now aren't good enough to be your bulk of the number guys to be able to carry the like. What are you expecting the Bears offense to be like this year? It's a Kansas City Chiefs like offense that spreads the ball.
I'm expecting it to be like a lot of like dump off passes using David Montgomery as like a Kareem Hunt type of thing.
I don't know if the Bears are just doing dump offs like they did last year. I don't see how Trubisky's going to be able to develop.
Well, I think that's just the offense like that's actually been put in, but he has started to throw like a little bit more. You saw it like more towards the end of the season. We're just kind of really
exactly. Who was the guy at the end of the season?
I mean, playoffs.
It was Allen Robinson was the guy on the stretch when Trubisky was looking best. Allen Robinson needs to succeed for him to succeed.
Robinson had like 150 yards in the Eagles game in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Like for Trubisky's best game of his career was because Allen Robinson was able to go off.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see that. I really do. I just don't know. Like, again, I just haven't seen it enough to
I can't expect Anthony Miller, a second-year guy, and, Taylor Gabriel, who's been, what he is, a slot guy, just to be able to carry the load for the Bears receiving corps. I think Allen Robinson needs to be the number 1 guy that they paid him for.
What I just mean in general is just like with Allen Robinson is just looking at it from like a fantasy like perspective. I don't necessarily love him as like a wide receiver 3 because he was really inconsistent with his performances. And the Bears aren't like haven't been a team that consistently threw the ball. You know what I mean? And it's just like
Yeah, no,
I
for
haven't
sure. I'm
seen
just
that
saying
yet.
that's what sucks because that's because of your quarterback and what's being because I think he needs to be the most successful player in the Bears offense for them to be successful.
I think that makes sense, but that's not my point. It's just more of like I haven't seen enough to use like a 5th or 6th round pick on a guy I don't really feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the number of people in the league. But
That's really all I'm trying to get at. But like he's not the worst person to have, especially for a wide receiver 3.
well, yeah. That's my point. If the number one receiver on a team, especially a division contender like the Bears, I would be comfortable with that.
I just want to see bigger numbers coming from my guys. Like consistency is my main thing, and there's not a lot of consistency in the passing game yet in the Bears offense. I just haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, no, facts. That's why I'm not big on Trubisky.
Well, there we go. But we are probably going to see a lot more consistency from the Packers, which is throwing shit. Because, I mean, I didn't even know. That was just a really bad transition. That's not the point. But, like,
Yeah,
Devontae Adams is going to be just an absolute beast this year. We already know that. He's, like, a guy you could take in the 1st or 2nd round, honestly, depending on, like, how your draft is going. I could see that happening, like, easily.
yeah, dude. Just saying, at our draft at school, what if we do one again? I am definitely trying to get Devontae, Aaron Jones, and Aaron Rodgers in that order. In
That's
that
gonna
order.
be the grossest looking team.
Dude, those are the only 3 that I need though from the Packers. Like
What are
those...
you gonna do when they play the Bears? What's your thought process?
Oh, like
Luke?
in like matchups and stuff.
Yeah, you just
Well, I
gonna
can
lose
tell
when they
you
play the
right
Bears?
now. I can tell you right now. I would see who my other running back options are, but Devontae is a lock any game all season,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
against
absolutely.
the Bears, especially against Kyle Fuller, because Kyle Fuller is his baby. Anyway,
Do you think Rodgers steps up and like has like a good fantasy year this year, or is it just mostly? Do you think he's just doing a Tom Brady thing and kind of like focusing on being a real quarterback?
whoa, being a real quarterback, whoa.
Like the original like idea of what the quarterback was supposed to be when the game was like created.
I don't know what
Just
to...
like throwing the ball and handing it off.
You just
You
mean
think he's still gonna be slinging it all the time?
you just mean having a more complex offense and not asking him to run around all over the place. Is that
I
what
don't
you...
know, man. Maybe. The only thing I've seen is him running around over the place and just like pulling a play out of his ass. That's what I'm used to when I watch that man play.
It's still a quarterback though.
Yeah, but okay, you know what?
But anyway, yes, I expect Rodgers to have a really big year, and I think a lot of the smoke that's being blown about him and his coach are pretty idiotic. I expect him to go well in the offense. I mean, I already said I expect an MVP-like season, but you guys are probably gonna laugh about that. But we'll see.
I'm not gonna laugh. I'm gonna tell you I don't think you're right.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
We'll
I
see.
expect an MVP-like season, and I expect Devontae to have 1,500 yards, be insane. I'm not going to predict anything else, but I expect Aaron Rodgers to have a really good year, and then along with that comes Devontae Adams' production.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Aaron Jones, I mean, would you guys say he's a sleeper? I say he's not a sleeper.
I don't think he's a sleeper.
At this point, no. People are giving him too much recognition. He's actually like being used or being like drafted kind of early-ish.
I think he's the perfect like late 2nd round, 3rd round pick.
Yeah,
I've seen him in the 4th.
If he's the 4th, I'm fucking freaking out.
Yeah, you could probably wait a long time on him.
If he's in the 3rd, I'm probably snagging him there.
Definitely, man. That's why I even said I would get Devontae, Jones, and Rodgers in that order, because I think Jones would probably go before Rodgers. So
yeah.
I got a question for you guys. I made a video on this a little bit ago. I posted it.
I already know where you're going with it, and I'm mad.
Yeah, you do. Aaron Jones or Derrick Henry? Do you agree with what I said?
Hey,
With Aaron Jones over
Derrick Henry's offensive coordinator is now in Green Bay, so
Henry? Nathan, what are your thoughts?
I'm going with Aaron Jones
yeah, I was mind blown when you picked Derrick Henry. He hasn't even
because
practiced
I mean
yet.
I had Derrick Henry for 3 years. He's just
Yeah.
I know he went off last year, but that was only for I mean that was a small sample size of him going off. I don't like him to be a consistent back, and I think Aaron Jones will be.
Yep, I agree. Nathan took everything out of my mouth when I saw that, Jack. I wanted to Twitter fingers you so hard, but
What do you mean? The fact that I made a video about it? Because I didn't pick Derrick Henry.
I don't know. Seemed like it.
I didn't. I said that I was picking Aaron Jones. I didn't get Derrick Henry as a higher upside, but I don't think that if I was given the choice, I would pick Derrick Henry.
Well, that's good.
I want more.
I mean, no one should.
consistency when Huh?
Well, I said that's good because no one should.
Mm,
I think Aaron Jones over Derrick Henry all the way because really Matt LaFleur figured what worked for his offense was featuring the back, and what is Green Bay missing the most? Featuring their stud back, Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
So
I know you're all excited.
I'm excited. I mean, I think Packers are going to be good. I think the Bears are going to be like I already said this. This has been my saying since all of free agency wrapped up. Is the winner of the division is going to be 11-5, and the guy in second place is going to be 10-6. It's just going to be split like that.
I could see something like that.
I
'cause
think I think everyone in the division could split with each other.
Yeah. The Lions might have some trouble, but they'll win a couple games.
Well, the fucking Lions have beat the Packers the last 4 games they've played them, but Rodgers has only played in one of them. But
It's because you guys suck.
yeah, I know, trash. Ugh. But no, I mean, the NFC North, even just talking about it right now, has a lot of talented players. It's going to be interesting because you also got to think about, we didn't even talk about tight ends, there's a lot of talented tight ends in the division.
See, I think that Trey Burton is super overhyped. Like,
Overhyped? Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
even just talk about him. They got him. They got, there's Jimmy Graham. I think he can maybe step up in a new
Kyle
offense.
Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph. There's just a lot of, and then obviously TJ Hawkinson. There's a lot of talented guys. It would be interesting. Why do you say that about Trey Burton?
because people have been talking him up like he was going to be this big player that came in from the Eagles or whatever, and I never really heard of him before he came to the Bears, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, this guy's here now. And then I kind of I started watching him play, and I was like, he's not he didn't show me anything really too special last year. He had a decent season, but he didn't have the one that everyone was saying he was gonna have.
I just think a tight end plays a big role in the kind of offense that the Bears play. That's the only reason why I could see Trey Burton being a decent value. Decent.
All right, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe. Check out us for more stuff on this channel and also our website. Follow us on Instagram to keep updated on all the posts, and we'll see you all next week.